Hi and welcome back to another Photoshop 101. I'm Julie Powell, and this episode we're going to go through how to open up a document from Lightroom, because I know a lot of people are using Lightroom for their photos, and just to put some simple text and things like that on it. So if you have Photoshop open and you go into Lightroom and you have your photo, whatever you want to do with it, this is a shot I took today at the beach. If you right click and go into edit in, it gives you a whole heap of properties. So just click edit in Photoshop. It will then go through and open it up in Photoshop. Depending on the power in your computer, it can take a moment to open it up. So there's your file as it's opened up. Needs a little bit of editing, but I can do that in Photoshop or Lightroom. Just some dirty spots on my sensor. So if you want to add some simple text to it, there's your background image. Go through and just click New Layer from your Layers palette, and that will give you a blank layer. And you can click on your text tool, and then you can come through, change whatever text that you want it to be. Put, well, that's a bit of a funny font. Put whatever text that you want on there. I decided I don't like that. I'm going to change my font. So I'm going to click into here, and I might try that one. Just a day at the beach. And I think I want it in another color. So if you click your color palette, this will then bring up your color picker, and you can go through and you can pick whatever color you want. Go through, choose it. If there's a specific color that you know you want, you can put it in down here. So for instance, if you want black, it's just 0000 blah blah blah. And if you want pure white, it's just F is 6 F's. I think I've got too many in there, but anyway, that gives you white. And then you just click on the color that you want and click OK, and that then gives you your font. Go through, change it up, do whatever you want. Just put a little bit of an arc on there, pop it over near there. If you want to move it around, you can just pick your move tool, and you can go through and size it however you want. If you can't see these little boxes, which are called the transform tools, just make sure this little icon here, it's got show transform controls. Just make sure that's clicked on. If you unclick it, it disappears. So if you click it back on again, that gives you your transform tools. Now there's another little button over here in your properties bar that you can also play with for text. It's your little A. So you can also change your font size, so you can go up or down from there and it will change the size of your font. You can also increase the height of it or decrease if you want to, so you can put 120% and that'll make it a bit higher. I can spread it out, so if I want it to take up more room, I can do that, and I can make it so that it's wider across the image. And there's lots of bits and pieces you can play with here. You can change your font here as well, and you can also go into your paragraph settings. So if you want it indented or outdented, if you want it justified, stuff like that, you can do that. Now something else you can do is if you click on this little FX icon when you're on that layer with the text, you can come in here and this will bring up your blending options. Just click blending options to bring up the palette. My computer's having a little bit of a think. Now you can play around with all of this as well, so you can bevel it. So if you click on here, you can go along and you can change how much you want to bevel. So not so much on this font that you can see it, but you can contour and you can change all the different hard bevels, soft bevels, inside, outside. You can contour it. I can put a stroke around it. So for instance, click on there and I can change the size of the stroke. So you've got that in there. Same again, you've got various different blend modes. You can change the color, you can put inner shadows, inner glows, you can put a color overlay, so if you decide later on you don't like the color, you can pick it to whatever color and you can change it and go, I want it blue to match the sky in the picture. Select that, and then that'll be, change it to blue. Click that off and it goes back to white. Again, non-destructive. You can put gradients over your text, you can put patterns over your text, and you can do drop shadows, which is what most people like to add in. It's pretty cool. You can change the size of how much that you're going to have it. You can change the direction of your lighting. If you want to use global light, so you have the same source of light for everything that's in that document, you can use that. Sometimes you want to move it around a bit, so you don't always want the light coming from the same angle. So you take that off and you can change your lighting source, how far away it is. So sometimes if you've got something quite far away from an object, you want your distance to be more or less. You can change your spread, so how thick it is around it, and obviously how the size, although it's more like a softness than a size thing. You can add noise to it, and you can change the contour, so you can have it as a flat edge and all the rest of it. So it's various different bits and pieces that you can play around with, and you just click OK, and that then puts these little effects in here. You can turn them on, you can turn them off, and that's pretty much it. So all you do then is you would hit Control Save, or go up to just Save in the File menu. It will then save it, and it will pop a copy straight back into Lightroom. So you still will have the original, but you'll also have a copy, which will pop back in here in a minute. And there it is, pop back into Lightroom with the text and the drop shadow and everything on it, and you can continue working on it as you usually do. And that's how you can add some text to an image from Lightroom in Photoshop. So that's it for today's episode, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.